That's right, we're live. We in the building this evening. We're here. This is the 22222 stream. We're here, and it's Tuesday. So everybody throw your twos up in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you for showing up and for being here. We're holding it down. I got all the fellas with me in the building. You're watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and stop fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
That's right. We in here. We in the building. Young Lion TV. Appreciate everyone who is in the chat already. Shout out to Lena. Shout out to Mom. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Make sure you hold us down. Please share this video. We're trying to get the algorithm to play in our favor. You can't see this right now, but we have a different setup tonight. We didn't have any producers that could help us out this evening. We had a little situation. John had an emergency. So right here in this area is all of our equipment, and I'm going to be trying to run the whole show myself. Moan has helped me out switching cameras. But we got Moan with me here, and he's on camera duty this evening.
So don't get mad at me if I mess up.
So you just throw some yell at him in the comments, because he's always looking at the comments. So yell at him in the comments if he's not switching the cameras.
Switch the camera.
Yeah, why you sleeping over there? Just throw the sleep emoji up if he's not switching cameras. But we got Stan with me today, and we got Jake, of course, in the building.
Yo, it's fun. Lena said she caught a snapshot of 222.
That's what's
today.
up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that happens a lot. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into it, guys, because there's some deep stuff happening.
Right.
If you're into some esoteric, spiritual stuff.
What do they call it? With the study of numbers and all of that? What is
Gematria?
Gematria, yeah.
Gematria.
Yeah, but there's a lot of significance to that. You know, people have been talking about that all day. It's February 22nd, 2022, 222, and it's a Tuesday. You know, so that is all
TWO's Day.
TWOs.
Change the spelling of Tuesday.
Spelling. Well, Tuesday is actually Mars Day. For those that know, the significant all the days of the week are named after planets or celestial beings.
Martes,
yes.
Venus.
Venus is Viernes, which is Thursday, right? Right? Yeah.
Viernes is Friday.
Is that Friday?
Yeah.
Wait. What's Thursday? I forget.
Dude, I forget.
Because
right.
Mars and
Jueves,
Venus is...
Huevos is eggs, and jueves.
Mars and Venus is the same planet, right? Or same god, right?
No, they're two different gods.
Is it?
No, Mars is the war god, and Venus is a female. Like
Venus is the god of lust.
Yeah,
it's like the god of love.
What's that? Aphrodite? I don't know. Who cares?
Athena isn't Athena and Venus
is
kind of similar? I don't
Athena
know. I can't keep up with all that.
Yeah, it's too much.
But I know
we're gonna talk about
Wednesday's Miércoles, Mercury.
Miracle.
Lunes is lunar, the Monday, moon day, Sunday, of course, is Sunday. Saturday is Saturn.
Day.
Yeah. So, it's all in there. But
Saturn.
Today is a significant day just because of the alignment of everything. And we're going to talk about that. There's something to do with Pluto.
Yeah.
And like what that means, it represents, and the fact that like they can't determine, they don't know still if Pluto is a planet or not.
Yeah, right.
Didn't they declassify it as one?
They did,
but then they reclassified
it really
as like a smaller planet. But anyway, if you guys want to hear some cool stuff, and if you want to get some encouragement, especially the believers out there, of what God is doing,
stay tuned.
Stay
Keep
tuned
watching
to the end.
Keep watching. And in the meantime, like I was saying, don't forget to hit the share button, hit that like button, and also don't forget to go to our Patreon, patreon.com/youngliontv. I'm going to pop it up right there at the bottom. The logo's boom. You can hit that, and you can you can't click that, but you can put that into patreon.com/youngliontv. That'll take you right to our Patreon, where you can sign up and become a member. You can become a Young Lion. You can enter into the pride and sign up and support what we're doing. If you really appreciate these conversations that we have, the topics that we talk about, the things that we address that a lot of people don't want to touch on, you can become a member on our Patreon, and also you can hit up our website and get merch and all that stuff, Jatan.com. But we're streaming on YouTube right now, streaming on Twitch. Shout out to everybody over there and on Facebook, everybody in the chat.
Paul Horner.
Shout out Paul, man. We
Emma.
haven't Paul's the young lion we haven't seen in a while. What's up, Emma? Emma said, Jay not been kicking lately. What you mean?
What that mean?
What's that supposed to mean?
Is that
Soccer?
a soccer reference?
I don't know what he's
slacking
talking
that
about.
soccer, man.
Nah, bro.
I haven't.
Oh,
man.
Jake.
I
Jake,
haven't.
yeah. Not me. I just played with him on Saturday.
Yeah,
I just
haven't
played with
been,
Emma on Saturday.
because I'm dealing with injury over here.
How are you feeling? Are you, after the last time you played, it's still...
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to take it to where I took it last time.
Yeah.
So I'm not pushing it.
Your knee still?
No, not my knee. My plantar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just had the same conversation with Jamie.
He
I want to
did.
come back, but
Because y'all dudes left me.
scared.
Y'all dudes left me out there by myself now. I just be out there, just be on my lonesome.
You got Emma out there. Come on.
I got Emma. Emma don't even show up that much anymore. So.
you talking all that smack, Emma, but
Nah,
you
but
don't show up.
He was injured too. But shout out to Emma and Paul, both Young Lions, both supporters, both Patreon members. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have been holding us down. Lena said, yeah, but I think they're saying Pluto is back. Yeah.
Yeah, it is back.
Yeah. Shout out to George. He said LMAO. I was probably laughing at our messing up the planets and days of the week.
Or the camera.
I appreciate you, Lena. She said, nah, we love Moon too much to yell at him. Thank you.
Yeah, but anyway,
I'm
so
messing up our Spanish.
well, be easy on me though, trying to work the the whole Wirecast, and I'm gonna be trying to bring in clips and all that stuff. So hopefully, I don't have too many glitches and
Yeah, you can't
error
just
situations.
pull it up in one place. You gotta pull it up.
Yeah, I gotta
in
do
different
4
places.
different things before it
we'll
comes
try
up.
to stall.
Yeah, right. But yeah, anybody else in the chat want to say hello? Just drop in a comment, and yeah, as always. Oh, Cash App. If you want to throw a donation to the Lions, you want to just support what we're doing, feed the Lions a little bit. It's just $ Young Lion TV on Cash App. But yeah, we're working on a lot of big stuff, man. We really are trying to step our game up in 2022. Like, we getting new lights, we getting new equipment.
Looks good.
Yeah, it only comes when you guys support. It only helps the cause. So we appreciate that. What
Are
else?
you doing the rendezvous link?
Now that
no?
I was trying to set it up, and I'm like, it's like because of the way his computer is like sending stuff to other windows, it's becoming an issue. So I want to try to pull that up. If I can get it up, guys, I'm going to put a rendezvous link in the chat where you can come in and join in on the conversation. I would love to get Paul on here, or Emma, or somebody who wants to come in, maybe Lena this time. If you want to just come in and say hello, or you want to join in on the conversation, we can. It's basically like a Skype type of situation, but it's Wirecast's way of bringing you into the stream. So it's just a link that we'll put in the chat, and then you just click on it, bring it up. If you bring it up in like on a phone, if you bring it up in Chrome, it works better. So you bring it up in Chrome, and then it'll bring you into the stream, and we can say hello. So we'll try to get that working, but bear with me. But yeah, anything else? What's been going on with y'all? How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling?
Good. Yes,
Feeling
sir.
good.
Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had 2 cups of coffee before I came.
So you won't be falling asleep this week. That's what you can't fall asleep this week. Now you got a job to do.
Yeah, I got an.
We ran late last week.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
I was feeling that. I was like,
yeah, I felt it. Well, you know what got me on the way home? That traffic, man.
oh my
Dude.
goodness, yo, it's
What's
been traffic.
going on?
Last night too, right?
Yo, it's like
What happened when you were going home last night? Did you have to jump off?
I jumped
Me
right
too.
off, dude.
Me too.
And I went down 168.
Yeah.
Because last week we got stuck
Glad I live close.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
and we sat there. So
Not
it was
me,
like-
dude. I hit that. I got jumped right off and went down 130. and-
Okay.
As soon as I see it, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
now,
off.
yeah, but
yeah.
So what we got going, guys? What's going on this week?
Jamie,
Jamie.
we get into it. We got it.
What
We
we
got
got
it.
going on this
He's
week?
like, I don't want to talk about traffic.
Yeah. Hey, we're just talking about our lives, man. Lena said you all get the benefit of the doubt and full support.
Thank you.
So we got something. What is this? What is this? Oh, I wanted to show this. This is the latest on what's new with Uncle Joe. I'll bring this up real quick. So when he gave his press briefing a few days ago, a lot of people were showing how many people were watching it on the whitehouse.gov YouTube page. If you can see the number there, you guys see how the massive amount of support that this
1,000
president
people.
is getting.
That was-
And then also this. You guys see that right there?
Of course it turned off. Of course.
I thought he got 80.
Wait. That's
This is the most popular president in history. Most popular president in history, guys.
He only gets
That's,
1,000 views.
yeah. That's not live, right? That's
Most
the
voted
video that's
for.
up.
This was live at the time. People were screenshotting how many people were watching.
On White House.
He's the most voted for
Yeah.
president.
Well, that would make you the most popular, right?
I mean,
Technically, you would have to
voted for.
be right. But I just thought that was funny. Also, there you know that of course people develop software where you can put a YouTube link in and see how many dislikes there are. So like it's like an extension you can get on Chrome or whatever.
Oh, really?
So people are just like exposing all of this stuff anyway. And dude, it's so hilarious. I didn't check on this one, but it's just so hilarious. Some of these videos that the dislikes are turned off, but when you see how many people thumbs down, people still hit it. You know what I mean?
Right.
People still hit it. It didn't deter them
Right.
because I bet you if you looked at this video, it'd be like 50,000 thumbs down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was funny. All right, next up. So, did you guys hear about this? The CDC. The CDC talk. This is a New York Times article talking about how the CDC isn't publishing large portions of their COVID data.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not making it available.
They're purposely hiding certain information to skew numbers. This is what the New York Times is reporting on. That
Which is on their side.
Right. This is the New York Times saying this, not me. But Crystal and Sagar at Breaking Points did a great breakdown of it. So I'm going to play a little bit of that because
For more than a year, the CDC has collected data on hospitalization for COVID in the U.S. and broken it down by age, race, and vaccination status. But it has not made most of the information public. In fact, when the CDC did publish the first significant data set just 2 weeks ago, it left out numbers for, quote, a huge portion of the population, which is 18 to 49-year-olds.
Oh, you
In
mean
other
all the
words,
people that
what they
aren't
did
affected?
Is they basically
Here.
rigged the data to say, hey, boosters work really well for adults who are younger than 65, but then they leave out all of the ability to
18
actually
to 49-year-olds
parse
left
that.
out.
So hold on a second. You left out the vast majority of the U.S. population in order to try and use and sell the public on booster efficacy? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think if you're old and if you have comorbidities, you should probably get a booster based upon what I can
Listen,
tell.
how to
But
lie
it's
with
very clear
statistics.
here that they had data. Which
How much are we
contravened their
hearing this
public
now?
narrative.
dude, it is
How much?
all.
I'm saying the conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy.
You're right.
Like everything that seemed like it could be conspiracy is now like this is becoming norm.
You gotta.
Like-
It's like you have to parse what you're gonna say with that statement.
You got to qualify.
Yeah.
so
Right.
that people will take you seriously because they've been so psyoped
Yeah.
into just believe, like hearing certain things you say. It's like, oh, I can dismiss you because you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And that's the job. That's the great job of the media for doing that. You know, that's what they've been been up to. I sent you guys that episode of Joe Rogan's podcast a couple of days ago with the dude who was the British dude who was
that was good.
Islamic extremist, and now he's like, you know.
Did you get any clips from that or no?
I did, but I didn't have time to like chop them up. So I mean, maybe I'll play.
Let's do something extra for that, maybe.
Yeah, we could do a breakdown of that. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have time to chop, but I did pull some certain clips from that. But yeah, if you get a chance, check out that episode. I forget what the dude's name is.
It's the latest Joe Rogan podcast. Right?
Yeah. No, it's not the latest. He did one. He did another one after that.
Majid Nawaz.
Yeah. Spell it, Moon, because it's
Maajid, last name Nawaz.
But this dude does an amazing job of like breaking down what the media did to psyop everyone into falling for all of these narratives and just following suit so that they would comply, so that they could then use these things to push through the true agenda, which is like this global banking system with this digital controlled currency. I do have one clip from that. I'll play this real quick. I don't even remember what this clip is, but I know he goes into it a little bit. Hold on, let me pull this up.
You notice Joe is doing
Oh, he has to.
The other side.
He has to now. He has to because he knows that they're just coming after him. If he doesn't push back, everyone is just going to say, "Oh, look, he's platforming everyone." So he has to like combat it to show like, "No, I'm debating this guy." You know what I mean?
Direct quote though on his, you'll see it. Our teams are now embedded in governments around the world. That's actually what they wrote.
Yes.
And the video is 2 minutes. I didn't play all of it. It's what he says.
But what he's saying there sounds reasonable. Figuring out on strategic ways to end the lockdown easily.
No,
that makes sense.
Not the end of lockdown. No.
Well, didn't he say that?
Yeah. Keep in mind, Tony Blair is the one who's been advocating for vaccine passports, digital identification through COVID, and all of these measures.
But didn't they say that about ending the lockdowns and keeping businesses?
Once those measures are in place. Right, so he's even in the UK, his stance has been, yeah, we're going to get out of all it, but you have to have digital ID and you have to have. So during the war,
this is going to introduce the social credit score system.
Right. So, all of that came from your question, which is, regardless of intention, how do people do that infiltration from within? It's not just Twitter. So back to the psychological operations. It's also embedding people in government who are subscribed to this agenda. Yeah? And the agenda of Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum is the same as the agenda of Tony Blair in this regard.
Just want to point out that we brought up Klaus Schwab like the last 4 weeks straight. I actually have a video that we didn't even get to a couple weeks ago of him like praising Xi Jinping about the way he's run China and the way he's set it up through the pandemic to be this economic force.
Oh, like how Trudeau.
This dude, but did you see that in this podcast where dude shows that Klaus Schwab is talking in an interview about how they've put their people in high positions in government to push these agendas through, and he mentions Justin Trudeau as one of those people.
Wow,
you know what I'm saying? So, like, this is what he's getting at. Like, they've put these people in places already so that they can be the ones that start pushing these things through.
Right. Yeah. This has been the issue, and again, it's the distraction. Something I want to touch on. Like, the distractions have been here, and they're the Beyoncés, right?
Oh, he's about to offend some.
Go ahead.
I'm
speak on it. Go ahead. Go there, baby. Like, I want to hear this. They're the Beyoncés.
They're the
Break it down.
They're the Madonnas, because that's going back.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the movies we watch. It's it's media.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's media. It's music. It's the culture.
Right.
You've already
sports is a distraction.
And I want to go into this later, so I'm just going to touch on it. But you've already
Throw
opened
a little
up.
teaser out there. Pepper it in there a little bit.
when we listen to these things, like you hear about, like, you know, Beyonce. What do people say? Oh, she's doing she's so creative.
Right.
No, she's crafty. Because all she's doing is witchcraft.
The craft.
She's doing something that seems creative, but it's just some twisted stuff.
Right.
And that's what you see.
It's the seduction. It's the drawing you in. It's
the mystery.
Right.
Right. It's the hidden thing that you're trying to figure out. What is, like, you ever watch a movie? You ever watch these weird movies? Because I know I have, like, these, especially now, you got all these independent weird movies, and there's never a point to it.
Right.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
The point is just
it just opens you up to
Right.
trying to figure something out that you never figure out. You know what I mean?
And it seems like all of the most award-winning Oscar movies are those type of movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what's the one with the fish man that won all those awards?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it water?
Something about water, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember, like, just throughout the years, always seeing, like, the movies that are always pushed to the forefront as, like, these great, you know, mind-blowing movies. You watch it and you're like, what was the point of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you leave feeling like worse. You know what I mean? Like, you leave the movie not feeling like anything inspirational or anything motivational. It's just about, like,
She ends
that
up
happens.
ends up sleeping with the fish man.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that movie.
And
but-
this is the thing I wanted to touch on. Like, you can't. There's 3 types of, like, I will say, portals, dark portals we open up, right? Or let me say realms, not portals, but realms,
Yeah.
right? That we open up. One is transgression, one is sin, and the other one is iniquity. What is transgression? Transgression is the fall. What is sin?
Wait, what do you mean the fall? Break that down.
Falling, like, meaning transgression is falling from a place where you should be standing, right? And when you stand, it means you're guarding something from not coming in, but you can't guard because you've fallen.
So it's basically compromising.
There you go, compromising, and then
Compromising on things you know you should be holding.
compromising because of temptation,
Right.
desires, right?
Right.
So that's the conflict.
Compromising on your values to try to get ahead in some type of way. And we can all...
Or just receiving something that looks good to you.
Right,
Right.
right.
So the enemy's always trying to make something look good to you so you can,
Right.
like, he literally beautifies something on the outside.
It's like watching a McDonald's commercial. Like, you ever
Right.
see
Yeah.
you ever see how they do food videos? Did you ever
Yeah.
like watch how they?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
the
most of the time,
breakdown
it's
of it.
not even real food, or it's
Right.
just like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like barely cooked, and then they spray it with some stuff to make
Yeah.
it look shiny,
Glossy.
and then, like, it's not edible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it
Right.
looks so good.
It looks good.
Right.
Right. So in reality, you couldn't eat that thing.
Right,
Right.
right.
If you did, you would die. And
Right.
that's the point.
But
So-
even the thing that they're trying to sell you could kill you if you know,
you eat
really, if like you indulge in this thing, it's gonna kill you.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah. So you have that. You have the opening up. The opening up is the fall, right?
Right.
You open up. That means you've fallen. Adam fell, right? He fell from where he was supposed to be standing. He was supposed to be standing guard.
Yeah.
So he fell. He couldn't keep what he was supposed to keep, the garden, so he got kicked out.
Right.
So you have the fall, but then you have, like, you can be restored, right? God
Yeah.
can restore you. He restored Adam, even though he couldn't restore him to that level. Eventually, he did with Jesus, right?
Right.
So you have the fall, but then you have if you stay down in shame, that's where sin is. That's the realm of sin, because you stay there, right? And then you stay there so long that down is up and up is down.
Right.
That's iniquity. Now you're
So
in a-
now what's right becomes wrong, and what's wrong becomes
Right.
right. That's iniquity. When you're just so deep in it,
Right.
That's the eating babies. That's the that's. The,
I mean, no.
I mean, it doesn't have to go that deep, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, that's
Eating babies is the way it's trying to live off of the upside down.
well,
right?
I'm just saying, like, because people always say, like, how could someone that could never happen? Like, who would ever? But they don't understand the mindset of, like, someone who's totally giving themselves over to
How did we get-
not caring,
And
How did we get to the point of abortion?
right?
yeah, I was gonna say, what's the road to get there?
Yeah,
It-
it's a road. It's a long road to get there.
And I can speak to this because I'm guilty of abortion.
Right.
Right. So, but I'm not fallen. Right.
Yeah,
So what I'm saying, so why did that happen in my life? Because I was more concerned with where I was trying to get to because of the desire that was placed on me from a false place.
that was the transgression.
where I was already in a fallen state.
Right.
Right. So all those things kept me looking at a dream that was unattainable. Right. So you can't ever be set free from the place you're at, but by God.
Right.
And the enemy's always trying to keep us in this false hope, you know. And that's the thing that gets us to accept these people to come into these guardian positions, right?
And then tell us, well, if you do this, then you'll receive this.
Right.
Oh, we can go back to normal if
Right.
you guys just do this, just get the shot.
Because you're
just get the-
already
right.
You're already falling. You're already
right.
compromised.
Right, already compromised. Yeah. Cool, man. Lena said, "Oh yeah, they definitely have been doing this since the beginning, especially on COVID deaths. They were calling any death where the deceased had COVID at the time as a COVID death." And there's another thing in that Joe Rogan clip that he talks about that now the British media is coming out and admitting this. I know some people in the American media have admitted this now as well, talking about how like they're not doing a good job of categorizing these people who are hospitalized of COVID or with COVID. They've conceded that point, which is something that you would get banned saying, 6 months ago.
Right.
But, in the UK, they're even going so far as talking about deaths, Lena also said, can you guys talk a little bit about the social credit score system? It's definitely something that we need to understand as an agenda, what they want to do, because people don't understand that. What do you mean social credit score? It sounds like some foreign concept. Like we've talked about it before, the Black Mirror episode. He actually brought that up in the podcast as well. Like, if you ever watched that Black Mirror episode with Ron Howard's daughter in it, I think it was like the first episode of season 2. If you go on Netflix, watch that first episode of season 2, it's basically like putting you in a position where everything you do is monitored, and it can affect your quality of life. And if you can become subservient to that, then you basically give you can't have any self-control over your life, basically.
It controls where your finances
They've already
go.
started implementing this in China. Right?
I mean, it's already implemented here, just in terms of if you view your worth based off of likes.
Yeah.
If you view your value based off of how many subscribers, how many likes you got, how many followers you have,
or even if you view your value off of how many people like you in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like because that's like when you talk about the fallen, right, and the compromise. The compromise starts. It doesn't start with them saying, "Well, we're going to implement this system, and whoever doesn't like it, you're going to be in trouble." No, it starts with whoever doesn't align with this ideology, those are the others, and we're going to cancel them.
right?
And the people that accept that concept start to implement this system on its own. It starts to become a groundswell in that way, where it's like, well, if you voted for this person, or if you have this idea, or if you don't believe that men are women and women are men, and female penises,
Vax or unvax.
yeah,
gonna
all
say
of those
that.
things, that becomes the social credit system right there.
Right.
That's what it. But then they can implement it in ways where now, and what he was talking about in the Joe Rogan episode, I'm just going to bring this up to show how it can really affect your life, is if they are able to implement it and tie it to your bank account, tie it to if you can get a loan, if you can get a mortgage, if you can get approved for your rent.
Eat like how much meat,
Right.
or how much groceries you can
Right.
buy. Like you've reached your limit.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's what he was breaking down, that what they want to do is tie it to a controlled currency,
you're seeing it happen.
programmable digital currency. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that you're seeing things like with the whole thing in Canada with the
Yeah,
truckers,
the truckers.
how they're cutting people off, like because they feel they have the right. It's their own gauge.
Yeah.
It's their own judgment, right? It's their own set of rules, and that's where I think the church gets caught up too much. Is we get caught up in laws.
Yeah.
We get caught up in technicalities, where it's like you got to see what's going on. You can't get caught up there and be trying to argue with people. No, that's where we have to pray. That's where we have to like stand and understand, okay, we have an issue here. All right, God, you have to become our solution.
Right.
Right? You have to become our solution. And we speak, that's the point of praying and interceding, right? Prophesying, decreeing. That's the point of that, because you're decreeing new things from a place of submission to God. And a lot of people, we don't understand that. So we look at things and we start getting caught up in the laws. But
That just reminds me of the whole Paul thing and you know how it was. Oh, my bad.
We can't talk and switch at the same time.
Just how the church was kind of divided because the Jewish and then the new you know what story
the
I'm
Gentiles,
talking about,
yeah.
Gentiles and the
Yeah.
Jews. There was like a little
They were
altercation
debating over
between that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's what God does with us. He's like, we know the truth. You know how you read scriptures and like you know it means this, but then it doesn't stay that.
Right.
Like it is that, but it means so much more.
Right.
Right.
There's
and
layers.
There's layers, and that's
Yeah.
what God does with us. And the thing is, the enemy wants us to be settled, right? If we're settled, we won't enter into God's realm, right? So we're always in this battle. Like the enemy's trying to cut us off from God so that we can't enter in, because that's where our victory is, right? Because we'll see it new. Like you look at Isaiah 6, the seraphim. They're holy, holy, holy. They're seeing God in a new way, new way. Right?
Every time they
Every
go,
time.
Right.
Religion is what gets you caught in the law, and it gets you caught. Like what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a new religion. We're dealing with a religion that is, the cancel culture is religious.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the what's it called? The Spanish
Inquisition.
Acquisition. Spanish Inquisition. That was cancel culture.
Right.
Yeah.
By death.
Right. and they had a hold on the law. Like we talked about this. I don't know if it was yesterday or I think we were talking about it yesterday. How until the printing press,
Yeah.
it was hard for people
Again,
to read the Bible.
This is why I'm saying people need to watch this dude's podcast, because he's the one that brought that up. That's why I was talking to you about it, because he talks about how the printing press was the first decentralization of information that ever happened.
Technology.
You know what I mean? So it took the power away from the elites that told people you're not allowed to know what's in this Bible. Only
Right.
we can tell you. You know what I mean? Because the first thing that was ever printed, and we talked about this on the podcast, was the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And you'll start to see why? Because they wanted to keep control over you.
they want to control.
They wanted because
The only way for you to get salvation was what?
penance.
To pay penance.
Yeah.
Go to the priest. Find out how many Hail Marys you need to say.
Right.
That was the only way.
You are relying on them for everything.
And this is what they're trying to do now.
Right.
Because
That's always been the spirit of religion.
Right.
Why did Jesus turn over the money changers? Because they're standing in the way of grace.
Right.
Grace comes from God. They're not being a conduit, a portal of grace.
Right.
Right. They're being a stop of grace. Wait, it stops here. You got to do this, this, and this. That's what Satan does, right? Oh, you want to reach heaven? You got to come through me. So you're never really getting there, right?
Want to rule over you.
That's how the world works.
real quick, Paul said, it's funny seeing the progressive left hating on the truckers, which is a genuine workers movement. Yeah, I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
But it's not to me, because they're complete hypocrites in every way.
Yeah.
So it's just like they don't really care about workers. They only care about the workers that fit their agenda. It's just like they don't care about black people. They only care about the ones that fit the narrative that they're trying to push forward.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I heard something today. I think Lance Walnall said it. I know I'm messing his name up, but he said that communism is a big group and fascism is just a smaller group.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And I
It's
really,
the same
like,
thing.
yeah,
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's a smaller group trying to impose its will on people, and
Right.
communism is just a bigger group
Right.
trying to impose their will. Lena said, so wait, people always want to say, oh, it's just social media, it's just the internet, it's not that serious. Is that what we're going to see soon? The social presence and etiquette will dictate your real life status. I mean, I think that what they want to do is be able to tie that in.
Right.
And again, like, it's about being able to say, well, what is the easiest way to maintain power from a country that's as free as the U.S.? Like, look at what's happening in Canada right now.
Yeah.
Like, they can do that because they can. Like, the people have already given themselves over to that type of government power. That's
Right.
different in this country.
But they're starting to become a pushback.
Right.
Which is, the power is truly of the people, right? The seas.
Yeah.
The seas is where the power really is, right?
Right.
In the Bible.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, in this country, it's harder because of the Constitution, because of the way it was set up. It's harder for them to implement a lot of these draconian type of things. Like,
One
through
size
COVID,
fits all, yeah.
through the fear of COVID, they were able to push a lot of that through and get
Right.
people to comply with a lot of things.
But it's going to take more.
Right.
And that's why, like, so think, why do we even do this? We do this to bring things up.
Right.
Right? To bring awareness to what's going on.
Yeah.
And not for us to complain about it and act like
No.
there's nothing, but for us to say, here, look, wake up. Right. But
Don't blindly be seduced.
Right.
Don't blindly fall for Beyonce. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
And these are the things they're attempting to put in place.
Right.
But it doesn't have
Doesn't
to go
have to,
that way.
right.
You know what I mean? That's the hope.
And it won't go that way if we do our job.
If you wake up,
If we wake up and do our job and just don't, all you have to do is not agree.
just say no.
Just not agree.
Right.
You know what
but
I'm
on
saying?
another level, in terms of like Christians, that becomes like, okay, it's not, once saved, always saved. Or,
Yeah.
or you know, I'm born again, I'm good.
Or,
Right.
we're in the church. The church got us. You know what I mean?
Or the mindset of it's all going to hell.
yeah.
And hand
God,
back.
Jesus, can't wait till Jesus come.
Jesus come back quickly, right?
Jesus come quick.
No, he ain't coming back.
Yeah, right.
He ain't coming back. He's
Right.
coming back for a church that believes with him.
Right.
Occupy till I come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Be about my Father's business. So that's the point.
Right.
We're supposed to be okay, this stuff is going on. All right, God, let me seek you.
Yeah.
Because I know you're the answer.
How are you going to help me navigate this so that I don't be overwhelmed with anxiety, with depression, with just a feeling of loss? Like, show me what to do.
Right,
You know?
right.
But I want to get back to what Lena is asking, because she wants to know, like, how they're going to implement it. So, like, we were talking about the money system, and this is something that the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, if you look this up, this is like 100% what they're trying to implement, which is like we said, a programmable digital currency. Because right now, all the digital currencies, the cryptos, they're all decentralized. Some of them are a little more controlled than others, but for the most part, Bitcoin is decentralized. There's other ones that are tied to the blockchain in ways where, like, it can't be controlled.
Right.
But
Centralized. Yeah.
But what they want to do is create
A coin
their
that
own
is.
digital currency that is programmable, so that the currency can't just be used. Like, right now, if I give Jake $1, he can spend that dollar on anything he wants. There's no one knows where that
Where it's
dollar
going.
came from or where it goes. But if I send Jake through a wallet, the government approved digital programmable currency, and then Jake
have control over
right,
that.
and then Jake says, "Oh, I'm going to use this money to go buy soda." You know what I mean? And they say,
No,
"Oh,
you're
nope, you've had too much sugar this month. You can't buy soda." Or they just say, like, "No, you said something on the podcast last week that
We didn't agree with
we're
that."
banning you from your money for 30 days."
We're
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
finding you.
We're finding you, yeah.
and we're taking that money away.
We're taking that money that he gave
Yeah.
you because you got that under the pretense of the podcast. Or, like, look at what they're doing to the truckers.
I was just gonna say that. Look
Tens
at
of
what's going
millions
on.
of dollars that were donated. Not only are they seizing that money, but they're finding the people that supported it, that gave the money.
So that's the social credit right there.
Right.
They follow the money.
Right.
You donate it to the truckers. Yeah, we let you go home. We didn't find you then, but now
Right.
we're doing our investigation. Turns out you supported that trucker convoy.
And even if you did it
that was
before,
illegal.
it was illegal.
Yeah,
Even if
don't
you
matter.
donated
If you did it
before,
before.
it was illegal.
Now we found out. We're gonna find you.
And what does that do? What is the ultimate? Why would the government want to do that? Because it keeps people in check.
It's a deterrent.
It stops you from doing anything that they deem wrong.
I was hearing this guy talk about socialism. He was from Belarus, right?
Yeah.
which was a communist country. Was it Belarus? I think no, Bulgaria.
Okay.
Because Belarus is definitely not a communist
that
country.
sounds more right.
They're bees.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Bulgaria. And he was saying that he was born right like a few years after they implemented communism.
Okay.
Right? But his parents grew up basically without it.
Yeah.
And he said his parents never spoke about how it was before. Because if they did speak to him and he accidentally as a child would say anything in school,
wow,
they would be arrested.
That sounds like
that's how bad it is.
Park's story
the North Korean
from North Korea. That's the same thing she said.
And he was saying you couldn't have many friends because everybody was checking.
Yeah.
Right? And think about that was back then when there was no internet. That was back then. There was no tech. Right.
It was just we tell on everybody because I don't want to get. So that's the ultimate social credit score, right?
Right.
It's like we keep each other in check because I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
It's all fear based.
Look what they tried to do with the vaccine.
Right.
You call us. You know that your neighbor's not vaxxed or your friend's not vaxxed.
Right.
That's what Gina Carano got in trouble for.
Yeah. That's the road.
That.
Yeah.
That's the mental picture they're trying to get you on to get you used to.
And that's the deal with them implementing these type of things and these rules, and that's why people were pushing back so much against the masks on kids in schools, because it's not about like, oh, we just don't like it. It's it's because
not about just wear it,
right? Yeah. But it's also not about like we don't like it. It's about like when you bring kids up in something and that's all they know. Now that just becomes normal.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to grow up in a system that is oppressive, but think it's normal.
Again.
Yeah.
See, that's we talked about this earlier. That's the fall. That's the transgression to the sin, to the iniquity. The iniquity is you grow up in something that's upside down, that should be down, but you think it's up.
Right. Right.
That's where we have the problems, because now you think things are normal that should not be normal.
Right. Like abortion, birth control, all of these things that they implement.
Look at how we grew up in post-abortion. In post.
Sexual liberation, right? We grew up in that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
where it's
post-lawful abortion, right?
Right.
And then it just becomes like a thing. Like us growing up, we grew up in not respecting our government.
Right.
All these things, dishonor, and not understanding what that meant. We grew up not really appreciating your elders, your parents.
You don't know what you have.
Yeah. That was like cultural. You know what I mean? And then it just gets worse and worse. Like the next generation, now you see these cartoons. Like our generation, again, most of our cartoons weren't like that, but then the older movies were. You know what I mean? Like you have, what was the Breakfast Club, and like a lot of those teenage movies were kind of in that vein of like disrespect.
Yeah.
But then our cartoons weren't like that. But then when you see the next generation, like Fabian, my oldest, who's now 22, right? I remember watching his movie. I mean, watching the cartoons he would watch. I'm like, dude, you can't watch none of this stuff, because it was all teaching them how to be
disrespectful,
sarcastic, not care about anything, disrespectful to their parents.
Even the Disney shows, when you watch them, like the shows cater to the kids, all the kids are always like up to hijinks. There's never any parents around. They're like smarter than everyone, and like they don't care what the adults say.
It started with us. I remember Beavis and Butthead. Talk.
But that wasn't marketed to kids though.
No,
honestly,
I don't think so. But
that was more about teenagers. Even Ren and Stimpy wasn't marketed to kids.
Yeah,
like Jake's talking
kids
about.
Were watching
kids
that,
were watching it like us because we would find it,
Yeah.
But I'm saying like it wasn't marketed to kids. Like you're talking about shows that are specifically marketed to kids.
Right,
like imagine us growing up and the Care Bears were just a bunch of assholes. You know what I mean?
Care Bears don't care.
Right, Care Bears, we don't care.
We did have a lot of cartoons,
but
values.
We showed it last week with the comparison.
Between the Thundercats.
But think about it. I brought up the Care Bears, right? Think about Gummy Bears. All of the shows that we would watch on Saturday, they always had a moral story to them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was always a point. Even like Smurfs. You know what I mean? Like there's always like a moral like
compass.
under undergirding lesson in there, you know. And Jake is talking about like the ones that they market to kids, and I remember seeing it in Fabe. Even John when he grew up, like what was the cat dog that he used to watch? You remember that show?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the dog.
It was just nonsense.
It was just stupid.
Just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. Made no sense.
Yeah. So, you know, it's interesting. Mom left a comment. She said, I going into a booth and the priest was in another booth connected together, and I would have to say, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I would have to say what my sin was, and the priest would tell me how many Hail Marys I had to say. Yeah, that would be the process. That was confession, right? But you also had to pay in order to give confession, right?
I don't know. I can't talk on that. I don't know. But
isn't it weird though? Like, you know, you're going to a church. I just changed my angle. You're going to a church, right? A church that you go to, and you know what priest it is, but he's like
Behind the wall.
supposed to be behind the wall, and
right.
you're telling
confessing
to
your
somebody
darkest secrets. Yeah, which I understand why that's the part of that makes sense. Part of that is good, like to confess the things that you have done that you want to be forgiven for, but
it becomes enablement.
Yeah,
like
look at all the mobsters that did that.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
Wow.
Just gonna say that. The mobsters. Even in terms of like, there's something with that my wife's family does that kind of annoyed me. But a lot of cultures have this. Because they have like rules that you make up, right? And then they become, it becomes the rule that everybody, it just enables people to just be assholes. So like this one rule is when people come to your house, you got to cook for them, right? Puerto Ricans. And the issue is, now you got family coming to your house all the time just to get a meal.
Just to get food, yeah.
I mean, like, it becomes something else.
And you got to hold yourself to that thing, that law you've set up.
Right. And so, like, that's an honorable thing, right? But now, when people's hearts aren't in the right place, it becomes abused.
Right.
And that's the issue. So, there's nothing wrong with laws. It's just, or even, like, the things that we want to do that are good, but it's just, like, we have to kind of uphold the meaning of it, because then it's just like your selfishness is just going to twist it.
Right.
You know, and that's what happens every time.
It takes the love out of it, the love aspect out of it.
Yeah. So we were showing that clip of, you know, them breaking down the New York Times article about how they were hiding specific data. That's how we went from that to all the way, but it's fine.
Mom says she didn't have to pay, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I think they would say, like, I think that was more back in the day.
Got you.
The penance.
Yeah.
But then it turned into, like, say, 3 Hail Marys.
Okay.
And something else.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
do the rosary. I'm just,
That sounds right.
speculating.
Yeah,
but
Speak on something you don't know.
But yeah, so what they're finding out is that the CDC basically, you know, just omitted data.
They're not giving you both sides
from the things that they released because they
They
wanted
took a book out of a page out of Bill Gates' book that he reads.
because they wanted to frame the boosters in a certain way, as if like their effectiveness, you know. And this, you know, New York Times did an article about this, so it's starting to come out like all of the psyops that have been going on, and then you have to ask yourself, like, the reason why we're getting at all this is like, why are they? And we've been saying this for the last 2 years. Yeah. What are they up to? What are they up
hiding?
to? You know, and we knew they were up to something, and now we're starting to realize what it is. And we knew there was something with the Great Reset. We've been hearing about this thing, but we didn't know what that really was. You know, we heard you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. We heard, you know, social credit. China's the model, social credit score system. But still, it was like, what is that? How are they going to implement it? And now it's starting to make more sense. Now we're starting to see it. We were talking about Canada. I want to play this clip I saw on Twitter. This is the Ottawa police chief talking about how they're going to go after these protesters. Even if they go home, they're going to find them and they're going to, you know, basically prosecute
Hold on,
them.
I want to bring this up. Paul Orner said, CDC, Center of Deception and Control.
Yo, Paul has always got the bangers. He's always got the bangers.
Bangers.
All right, here we go. Let's watch this dude.
Watch how confident he says it. Too.
Yeah,
How
this
comfortable
look
he
how
is.
comfortable he is with being a tyrant. And this is the other thing that people are learning from this situation in Canada is that you just can't blindly. And I think a lot of conservatives are struggling with this too. Like you can't just blindly be like, oh, the police are the best. You know what I mean? And we've talked about this, like back to blue, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we've talked about that on here before. It's like, no, like I understand why we honor the police. You know what I mean? But we have to also address how they can become a part of the tyrannical system.
Yeah.
You honor the police as in they stay in that honor.
Yeah.
Like you can't
As they uphold that honor.
as they-
Yeah.
Yeah. You,
Right.
They have to stay in the place of honor
Right.
for them to be honored.
Right.
Like you're not going to get, if they're being corrupt, you know, even if you're abiding by laws, right?
Even if they're doing their job, as what
Right.
people
Exactly.
used to say all the time. They're just doing, when they would watch these clips of like, you know, police being a little aggressive with certain people.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they're just doing their job and they make all these excuses. But it's like, okay, but there's still a part of that where it's like, as a human being to human being interaction,
Yeah.
you have to uphold some type of honor,
Yeah.
especially
Moral
as
standards,
as you're the one in the place of authority, and you're the one that's kind of, you know, supposed to uphold that authority in the community.
Yeah. You're supposed to be protecting and,
Yeah.
and serving.
Right,
The
and to
community.
see like, did you guys see the clip of them like purposely running people over with horses, and
yeah,
then
I
like
seen
they found text messages of them like
Laughing,
joking about it
yeah.
and laughing about
I
it.
didn't see that part.
Yeah, like they released text
Mounties.
messages.
Yeah, the mounties, yeah.
Of
I
them,
seen
like-
that. I didn't see the laughing part.
So-
That's
Yeah.
messed
so-
up, man.
There's no love for people. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
in that. That's what's hurt. That's what's crazy. Like a father is supposed to protect and serve,
Yeah.
right? But if the father has no love for their kids, then
Yeah.
they're gonna be tyrants.
Right.
You know, and that's what happens. No, you better listen to me. I'm your dad.
Right.
There's no honor for these truckers.
Right. If it's all about like, well, I'm allowed to do this, so you know, it's fine. Like when you see police officers, and we've interacted with them in the past in this way, where it's like you see them get off on that power sometimes, and it's only certain ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we have to be able to call them out too.
Yeah.
But this is one definitely right here.
If the protesters at this point, retreat and go home, are they going to be getting sort of repercussions down the road? Or are you going to be sort of actively pursuing the people that you've been sort of documenting and filming who are still out there protesting? What are your plans after this, after the protest is over?
So thank you. It's a great question. And the simple answer is yes. If you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Absolutely. This investigation will go on for months to come. It has many, many different streams, both from a federal financial level, from a provincial licensing level, from a criminal code level, from a municipal breach of court order, breach of court injunction level. It will be a complicated and time-consuming investigation that will go on for a period of time. You have my commitment that that investigation will continue, and we will hold people accountable for taking our streets over.
A lot of people notice, man, that's
They
energy.
didn't have that energy.
That same energy was not happening with Black Lives Matter riots, where
Right,
they
and-
destroyed billions and billions of dollars
Well, that was
worth.
that wasn't in Canada.
There was
Well, that
something-
happened in
that happened
Canada,
in
too.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Trudeau was out there
Black
kneeling
Lives
with
And
us.
Trudeau went out there with them.
he kneeled with them.
Yeah.
But I don't think it wasn't happening to the level of America.
not as much as
your
Not as
stuff
much
was getting
as-
destroyed.
Not,
That's why.
but I saw something today where I think the Daily Wire actually put this out where the people were polled, Democrats were polled in America, and 65% of them said that they would want the same thing to happen in America because the truckers are about to do the same thing here.
Yeah,
they're
it's
they're about
started.
to they're planning
Yeah, they
on
already
being in
started.
D.C. when he does the State of
March
the Union.
1st, yeah.
When he does the State of the Union address March 1st. So. And 65% of the Democrats that they polled said that they would want that same energy for the truckers here in the States. So it's like that's what we're talking about, the hypocrisy where it's like why is it that same energy isn't taken up for the
that was
people?
a peaceful protest.
There was no one
No
hurt.
violence at all.
Yeah.
No violence. They didn't burn down any buildings.
The only person that did run 2 people over or something was a BLM member
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah,
Right.
And
Someone who showed up.
Trudeau is pinning them as like the neo-Nazi. But we saw that video. Did we play that?
Yeah.
we played that video of the black dude talking about
No.
what that story was. It was a guy.
Oh, I don't think we did play that.
Yeah, it was a guy who had the
guy had the Nazi flag.
but he was saying, "Is this what you want your country to be like?"
Well,
Right.
Trudeau was coming at them for the Nazi flag.
Well, the
Yeah.
media just ran with the story. Every media news outlet was like, a man with a Nazi flag and other white supremacists were at the truckers protest. You know what I mean? But it was a guy who was holding up the flag saying, this is what we're going to become. Do you want this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And they took it and just twisted
it. You know. But when you look at like what was going on in 2020, 2021 with like, dude, they took over a whole police station. Like totally took it over. The police fled and they took it over. The Chaz Chop situation where they took over all of downtown Seattle.
So what we're starting to see is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Right. And those who don't want to see it because they're connected to those desires, right? They're not going to see it. But those who are kind of like on the fence, like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
They're going to see it. And what does it mean to be a hypocrite? It means to be an actor. You know, when you're an actor, you're acting like something that you're really not. You know what I mean? You're putting on a facade that you really don't know how to be truly, right? You can play that role. You know what I mean? That's like, what's that word? Semblance. You know, to be a semblance of the truth is to have an outward appearance of the truth, but really inside, you're not the truth. That's what Jesus, he called the Pharisees and the scribes hypocrites.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And he said, you know, they're whitewashed sepulchres. They, on the outside, they clean the outside of the cup, but on the inside, it's dirty. And you're seeing this, like, so that's why this stuff has to happen, because there's a lot of people who ain't with, who aren't with this. There's a lot of people who aren't with the stuff that was happening when it was happening with Black Lives Matters and Antifa stuff. You know, so now you're seeing that divide, like, and it has to be made clear. Like, I think people don't understand. Like, this stuff you have to press. If people didn't do what these truckers are doing, if there wasn't a press, you couldn't see the tyranny. Right? If everybody just
there's no dividing
gave up,
line,
then you won't see what they're really capable of.
Right.
You know, that's why it has to. You wouldn't see the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, so this has to happen.
Yo, I just looked up that video of the dude and it's been removed.
Yeah. Of course it has.
This
You talking about
video
the guy
has-
talking about?
Yeah, the black dude that talked about
I sent that like last week.
last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, the black dude talking about the Nazi flag.
Yeah.
You know,
and now it's down.
it's down.
Can't find it.
It's been removed by the uploader.
Right. AKA Meta.
What was I about to show? Oh, this is something else from the CDC right here. Interesting thing. I just want to show it real quick. It says, remember that this is the CDC tweeting this, right? Something that we've talked about before on here, but not another thing that they're admitting. Remember that COVID-19 nose swab test you took? What happened to the swab? If it was processed with a PCR test, there's a 10% chance that it ended up in a lab for genomic sequencing analysis. Learn more about the process and its importance. So basically, they're admitting that. Remember, we showed the story that they were censoring off of Twitter a couple months ago, where people were reporting this, that they were using the nose swabs for DNA harvesting.
Wow.
And everybody was like, "Oh, this is conspiracy theory." They're admitting to this.
Wow.
It's like
They're admitting to this now.
What's the thing? What's the family thing?
So we were all scared about the 23andMe.
23andMe, yeah.
23andMe,
right.
There you go.
And how much you want to bet that 10% number is a lie?
Oh yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
They're just admitting to that. So
Right.
just imagine what it really is.
Yeah, dude.
Man, we got a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shouldn't that be illegal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. You would think it is.
Like how I didn't consent to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy.
Where are our rights? How you gonna take something?
You ain't got no rights.
Now, what we do?
Yeah.
We don't got no rights because we don't stand up for our rights.
Yeah.
Rights don't mean nothing if you don't stand up
Right.
for them.
That's right.
That's the issue. We're
Yep.
too loose.
I want to show y'all this real quick. So moving on. I know I was showing this on there, but I was trying to find it. So I saw this tweet from Lives of TikTok. It's a news story about, like, you just have to see, because we're talking about these cities where all the rioting is happening, all the, like, these policies that they've been putting in place. Just watch this and tell me, how is this real? Looks like something from Mad Max or like one of these dystopian movies. Like,
business owners frustrated over what they say is an illegal homeless encampment being used as a chop shop.
This is
The
in San
thieves are
Francisco.
reportedly abandoning the stripped-out cars in the middle of the street, blocking traffic.
New at 6, KPIX5's Da Lin on the growing calls for the city to step in.
Oakland police instructed a tow
Oakland.
truck company to remove 9 cars on this one block. They just finished it a few hours ago, allowing traffic to once again get through. A public works supervisor tells me they'll clear all the remaining trash, hopefully by next week. This was what it looked like
Look at this
Friday
scene.
morning, driving on Alameda Avenue near High Street. Drivers maneuvering around abandoned cars to get to roughly 24 businesses in the area.
Just a mess.
just all
It's a
stripped
mess.
out cars,
The
just
westbound
blocking the
lane was
road, just in the
passable,
middle. Look at
but
this.
the eastbound lane
Look at
was
this.
completely blocked by a handful of cars. Most of them
No, they're
without
all
wheels.
stripped out.
These are cars that are literally sitting in the middle of the street. They're blocking the ability for cars to pass.
Businesses say these cars have been here for at least 4 days, making it difficult for customers to get in and out.
It's a safety hazard. It's negligence. There's no accountability.
Look at the whole
from
background
city, and we
behind
need
her.
Somebody to be accountable.
Jennifer Yu and her husband, Kevin Kim, own High Street Car Wash next to Alameda Avenue. After their repeated calls, Oakland police and a tow truck company came out Friday and towed the cars that were blocking traffic.
So like they stripped all the
But an
wheels,
officer says
everything off of
these
it.
cars will stay
Look at this.
at least for now, since they're not blocking traffic and the department doesn't have enough resources.
So they
where are the
only
police?
took the cars that were literally they left them in the middle of the street.
So
The
that was
middle
from
of
the
the street,
riots
yeah.
and all that?
No, this is just everyday life at this point.
So they just
This is what they're saying. There was a homeless camp on that road.
Right.
So what they're doing is stealing cars and stripping them, and then just leaving them.
leaving them there.
It's just like
Wow.
that scene where they were robbing the Amazon trains
Yeah.
and just leaving all the boxes.
Yeah.
That was in L.A. Right?
That was in L.A. Yeah.
yeah.
California.
So this is California.
This is
Wow,
California,
yeah.
but not only California. Let's watch something else from another one of those. This is Portland right here. This is Portland.
West Coast.
Let's just take a look at the scenery here. Just going for a stroll, you know. It's just Did they have a basketball court? Did you see that? Is that a basketball court? At your tent, bro?
Guy with his fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
Probably trying to hide the camera. Scared. Look, yeah. Look, Aria sent me a request for a game right now.
Betty.
Yeah, but it's crazy, man. Like
Was that houses?
this is what they want, man. This is what they want.
That was somebody's backyard.
Yeah. This is like just walking down the street and it's just
This
lined.
is what loosey goosey gets you.
Yeah.
Freaky
deaky.
Freaky deaky.
Yeah. That's all in the name of love,
Yeah.
right? But it's not really love. It's actually lack thereof. It's crazy because, like, think about it. Like, do you love your kids if you just let them do whatever they want? You know what I mean? No.
I'm dealing with that with Noah.
Not to say that they're kids, but
Right.
they're not kids, so you got to hold them to an even greater level
Right.
or standard, right?
Um,
It's crazy.
real quick story from we were talking about Bill Gates, just his comments. Just want to. This is from The Hill right here. the medical genius, the medical expert that he is,
the scientist,
Bill Gates has said that risk of severe COVID-19 has reduced. Well, thank you, Bill. We're glad that you have admitted this. But he warns of another pandemic caused by another pathogen. So be ready. Be ready, guys. He's warning.
He just did a talk or interview or something where he was mad at how Omicron came along because it produced the antibodies and the T cell memory that the vaccine couldn't do.
I can
and
see
won't
that.
do.
I can see that happening. Bill Gates being so disappointed that Omicron did the job that he couldn't do. Yeah, that is hilarious, dude.
That should be a parody.
Yeah. All right. So there's something going on with schools right now. Crazy stuff happening in schools.
Oh, I saw you flash that.
Did you guys hear about this story about the kids at like a science camp or something?
Yeah, that was in California too, right?
Camp director who told them
Laguna Beach,
Los Alamitos, males who identify as they them are permitted to spend the night in cabins with the young girls.
So
He told them the counselors, biological males who identify as they them, are permitted to spend the night in cabins with the young girls.
Did you hear
in the
this?
parking lot of Weaver Elementary School in Los Alamitos, a group of parents.
No parent should feel the way I feel after knowing what
Paul said California dreaming.
Upset by the sleeping arrangements at a school organized
Loosey-goosey.
I contacted the school and I asked them if they were able to confirm that there was not a man actually sleeping in the same cabin as the girls. They were not able to confirm that.
The parents say their fifth grade girls told them some of the biologically
grade.
male
Fifth
counselors
grade.
at Camp Pali in San Bernardino identified as they them and spent 3 nights
That's my
sleeping
daughter's
in
age.
cabins with the young girls.
they're asleep. They use the shower. They go to the restroom.
Camp Pali confirms, per California state law, we place staff in cabins they identify with.
You see that? Because of the law, they place staff in cabins they identify with.
Right. How did it get to become law?
Because
What is it?
people were already falling, man.
Right, exactly.
Transgression, man.
Right.
What we've been talking about.
lost their way.
What does the Antichrist come to do? Or you can even say the spirit of it comes to change times and laws.
Yep. All right, so keeping it moving with the school debauchery going on. I'm not even going to read this one.
Oh, my goodness.
If you're only listening, I'm sorry. You're going to have to watch because I can't read this because we might get banned. But this is, just look at this headline from this article from the Star.
Yikes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Weird, man. Just I can't.
Why
make
and
sense
how
of
did
it.
she get caught?
Well, I can read the under caption. Cynthia Perkins used her husband's bodily fluid to season pastries she gave out to her pupils.
Season.
She's been jailed for 41 years.
How was she found
after admitting a series of charges, including rape? Yeah. How? That is a great question. How did they find that out?
Yeah.
That's all they say? They said?
I didn't.
That's the article?
Listen, I didn't read the article. I just saw
Go
that.
find that for yourself.
Yeah, you can find that for yourself. Bruh, get on in there. Get all the details you need to get.
I'm just confused. Why?
Depravity.
Yeah. Depravity, and teachers aren't held accountable. They feel like they have this feel like they have this overarching power over your kids. They feel like you don't have any say in your kids' education. Look, this teacher went viral on TikTok.
Yeah, I think I've seen
This teacher went viral because of her comments. Listen to what she says.
So I see how you think that you've done something here because
She's responding
parents
to
or community
one of the
members have
commenters on her page that says that awk moment when teachers realize they do have to answer to parents. Because, this is a common trope now. Teachers feel like they don't have to answer to the parents. So she's combating that statement.
because parents or community members have voiced concern to their elected official, which is how that process works. Not bringing it to a teacher, right? They're taking it to the elected official. And now that legislators are trying to implement these things. But still, in fact, a parent, not my boss. I don't actually answer to them, so get bent.
Get bent? Is that what she said?
Yeah, she said get bent. Get bent, because she doesn't answer the parents.
You don't care?
She doesn't answer the parents. There's no accountability for these teachers that have this type of ideology. You know what I mean? But then we have, on a brighter note, we have this this epic father who spoke at a school board meeting. Let's play this video. Where is this at? North Carolina, right? Yeah.
Discrimination resolution, the CRT deal, because it's happening. And as a parent, I speak to other parents. There's a few things that we don't want. I'm biracial, I'm bilingual, I'm multicultural. The fact is, in America, in North Carolina, I can do anything I want, and I teach that to my children. And the person who tells my little pecan-colored kids that they're somehow oppressed based on the color of their skin would be absolutely wrong and absolutely at war with me. And I think that's the same for every parent. What the mask showed us is that the parents, the most powerful group of people in our country, that they're taking back the wheel. Now, obviously, we had to take the wheel back for the mask, but we're taking the wheel back from Washington all the way to Raleigh and into our local school board. Because CRT, all of that, the parents don't want it. It's a big fat lie. There's not one, if you believe in CRT, I want to tell you you're a liar. Because that means you look at your black neighbor and say that they're oppressed, and you look at your white neighbor and say that they're evil, regardless of the experience that you've had with them. And we're not going to do that. The parents in the United States of America, right here in North Carolina and Cabarrus County, we know that's not true because we believe the lives we live. The fact is, I've been a business owner right here in North Carolina, and I deal with white people, black people, Hispanic people. My children deal with everybody. And the racism is only happening at the government level and on the media. The fact is, you have racists, and there's like, you can't even find them hardly. You just hear the stories about them. But this is what we're dealing with. The parents are taking the wheel. I have an 8-year-old daughter who is absolutely dynamic, who can do anything. Athletically, intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally, she is a dynamo. And I don't want a man swimming against her in the pool. The fact is, I don't want her playing against boys in soccer. I don't even let my sons rough her up. Do you think I'm going to let your son rough her up? This is what we're talking about. Policy going back to the parents. Because if you think people who love America are willing to fight for it, you haven't met parents yet. Because I'm telling you, parents will go further down any street than anyone who loves their country alone. My name is Brian.
Preach.
Preach on. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I don't think he's a white supremacist.
Nothing but, no, he is. You didn't know that? Black white supremacist?
Yeah. Paul Horner said homeschool, D-school.
Yeah, man.
Charlene, or Lena, that's a lot. I'm not reading that. You want to read it, Jamie?
See, this is the problem with giving so many rights and protections to certain people, especially LGBTQ community members. Why should there be rights and protections for people's choices? I understand, but why should there be protections and laws for people who just decide one day that they want to identify as a frog? Yeah, I mean, listen, I get what you're saying. It's true, and we're seeing this happen a lot lately with the identity thing. Like we saw that with the We Spa thing. And then that person, they were out there protesting, trying to shut that place down, and it turns out that person was a sex offender. You know what I mean? And we're hearing stories like this happen more and more. The boy in the school,
Virginia.
Yeah, in Virginia, and his dad got arrested.
Yeah, her dad
got arrested, right?
So
because he was the unruly one after they tried to cover up what happened.
They wanted to cover it up. Yeah,
but again, like you see these things. These are deprived people. These are depraved people. These are people, and I say deprived because they're deprived of love, true love, right? True love again disciplines. God says, "I love you because I discipline you because I love you."
Right.
And a lot of times as children, we look at discipline like what did I did something wrong. We start becoming insecure about it, and then we start trying to prove ourselves. Right now, we get into acting, and I think if we have more examples of that love, it starts to become easier to see what it really is, right? Because we got the saying "love is love" now, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense, but we can't combat that with that. We got to combat it with love. What real love is. And I think that's how people start not getting caught up in the technicalities again, right?
Right.
The technicalities are the laws, right? That people are trying, but actually loving people past that. Like, there's a reason why they feel the way they do.
Right.
And when you can get that out of them and really open up their heart, you can cause a division, right? There's what did Jesus say? He said, "I come to bring the sword." It wasn't the sword of like a sword in his hand; it was a sword in his mouth, a sword of the Spirit. And in order to really hear that, you got to be listening. And some people ain't gonna like it, regardless.
And some people ain't gonna listen.
Some people ain't gonna listen.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that will listen.
Right.
You know, and it's about giving them that opportunity, because when you come in love,
right.
Again, love is discipline.
That's the Daryl Davis effect, right? Daryl Davis, the guy that converted over 200 KKK members,
Right.
made them totally switch on their ideology. They gave them his robes, and they gave him their robes.
But he didn't do that by staying away from them. He went to them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
he had a relationship with them. He developed relationships with them. He talked to them.
That's a continuance.
He got to know them. Yeah.
That's not like one time. Okay, you don't want to listen to me.
Right. And it's not a debate where it's like we're gonna go on facts and whose logic. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
that's not the conversation.
It doesn't
you have.
work, and that never works.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you willing to really share your heart with somebody?
Yeah.
How do you really feel about them? Maybe you don't really feel nothing for them.
Right.
Well, then that's a problem.
Right.
Like, you can't. That's the issue with the church is we're acting. Right. The church acts. It's like, you got to love people. Let me go love those people.
Right.
But you don't have that love in you to love them with, right? You got to go get it. You get it from God. If you don't got it, be real with yourself. Receive that from him. Then you can go love people with his love, not your own. And that's what's been happening. We've been dealing with people who don't know how to love, but they trying to love, and then they get offended because you ain't receiving their love.
Right.
That's not real love, you know?
Yeah, man. But yeah, so, a lot of stuff going on with schools. But what I loved about his speech was him talking about taking the power back that because how did we get here? In schools.
Gave it up.
We gave it up.
We gave it up. Yeah.
We saw school, our parents included, saw school as an opportunity for freedom for them.
Right.
Just send our kids there. Who knows what's happening?
Because
we trust the government to handle this.
Because of our own fears,
right?
Desires,
yeah.
right? All those things that the enemy takes, and he
right. And what happens? The government will offer that as a promise to you, and it sounds enticing. That's that's the McDonald's packaged commercial. You know what I mean? Like they say, we're gonna have a school program that's gonna have lunches, and they're gonna teach the kids, and they're gonna excel, and they're gonna be successful. And then what's really happening at these schools? Now look at the schooling. And how everyone is saying schools are terrible, public schools suck, private school only, homeschool your kids now, they're saying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and we did a whole podcast about how the school system was set up by Rockefeller. Remember, most schools were private, small, community schools, and the reading level back in the 1800s was astronomical. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? People were studying Latin. People were like so much more advanced than we are now.
Yeah.
And because we've given that power over to the government.
Yeah.
So, it's time to take that stuff back. It's time for us to stop
being loose.
Yeah. All right, I got one more video, and then we're going to get into Jake's topic. This is just along the line. This is just to trigger Lena. Because this is our we're gonna learn a little bit again. You guys ready to learn?
Yeah. You guys ready to learn? One of those.
Yeah, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn some things.
Okay. All right.
So just in case you're not up on the most common modern
I'm not
identities, We're gonna learn a little something here.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Like this, so
So
we
go
thought we'd
in one ear,
elaborate on
out the
our
other.
pronouns.
Okay,
They are-
let's start it over because y'all gonna miss the lesson.
sorry,
I need
sorry.
y'all
Sorry.
to pay attention to the lesson here.
All right, what am I looking at?
You're looking at a TikTok. You're looking at a TikTok with a person going to teach you some stuff. Okay.
We've had a lot of comments like this, so we thought we'd elaborate on our pronouns. They are our collective system pronouns. Every headmate's okay with them. They're pronounced fee, fix, fins, and are used as fee went to the store. This item belongs to fix, and this item is fins. The words themselves stem from the word phoenix. Thank you for, liking him. New pronoun love. We've had
Phoenix.
Phoenix pronouns. Fee, fix, and fin.
Fee, five, fo, fum.
It's the new religion.
Yeah,
it's the new religion.
It is a new religion.
It should be a fable.
And they will never. First of all, why do they always have a certain look? Like these videos, like the people that are in them.
Yeah, and giving you lessons are.
Lena said triggered.
Yeah, well, I hope you learned something, Lena. So next time
Just
someone tells you,
enabling these people to do whatever. All right.
yeah, next time someone tells you about their Phoenix pronouns,
Yeah.
you better get up on that.
Delete social media.
God.
All right, so Jake has a topic that he sent to me. So today being 2/2/2/2/2,
6 twos.
6 twos, and my birthday's in 2 days.
Yeah.
Days.
Happy birthday on here because we're not. On the,
Yeah, well, I'll see you guys.
No, but I'm just saying to.
Appreciate you.
For everybody, that's
my birthday will be on 2/4/2/2, which is still kind of cool.
Close because that's
it's close.
It's, the 4 is 2 more twos.
Right.
So
It's 2 and 2. So that just more twos to the equation. Yeah.
14.
Yeah, but Jake wanted to talk about the significance that I didn't even know about. Something that you saw. Where did you find this?
I heard Tommy O'Reilly bring it up.
Okay, Tommy O'Reilly from Rig Nation,
Yeah.
which is one of the channels that we follow and support. We support them, financially, monetarily, and we also follow their teachings. That's the fast we were doing along with them that we did in January. But that's a great channel to check out. It's called Rig Nation. He does a lot of great prophetic work and teachings. RIG Nation. And what does RIG stand for again? I know it's like an acronym for something, right?
Yeah, it's I think it's restoring the Issachar generation.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So, but he has an Instagram where he does live streams every day. They do stuff on YouTube. They have a website and they have an app also. All good stuff. It's a great movement. I mean, they've been growing like crazy. It's dope what they're doing. So check out Rig Nation if you get a chance. But this is an article from Refinery 29. Jake sent to me earlier. So it says the U.S. Pluto return is nearly here. This is what to expect.
So I think you can go down. You don't have to read it all. Just I think if you go down a little bit more, it tells you.
Okay.
Maybe like right there. Just I'm trying to get to.
Okay, I'll start here. Okay, so this is showing the significance of what today is and how it aligns with another significance of where Pluto is in alignment with the Earth, right?
Yeah. So Pluto is returning.
Pluto's returning to its where? Like spot?
to coming back around to the world.
Oh, okay.
In alignment with the world where you can see it.
Okay. On what side of the
especially
Earth?
From
because,
the United States, from North America, U.S. Yeah.
Okay, because you know the way the universe moves, we don't. Everything is kind of. But anyway, so it says when the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, American colony. A lot of people triggered right now. If you just mention. The Declaration in 1776, people get triggered. American colonies declared their sovereignty from Great Britain, grandly stating that all men are created equal. Okay, we know the background.
It might be. I can't tell from here.
Pluto returning to 27 degrees is notable, but the planet of transformation actually entered Capricorn, a sign that signifies money, dominance, power, authority, and ambition on November 27, 2008, and still remains the sign of the sea go until 2024.
That's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
what
not
are
it.
we looking for here?
Yeah, I can't. I don't have it, so I can't see it. It's too far for me. But it's.
I saw it when you sent it to
Yeah.
me. Let me see. I'll find it.
It's in there. You want me to just talk about?
Okay, so but what's getting people in the U.S. interested this year is that Pluto will reach 27 degrees Capricorn on February 22nd, 2022. So that's today. Pluto is at 27 degrees Capricorn. Okay, everyone? I'm sure we all understand what that means.
I actually don't.
I know, I'm joking. And that's the degree and sign it was during the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. So that's the significance of it. That's
Right.
exactly where it was when they signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776.
Wow.
Isn't that
Which
crazy?
is kind of crazy. When you look at what's going on with the country right now, and people talking about civil war now, and all these articles about we need a national divorce because we're never gonna see eye to eye anymore. Like there's literally two ideologies fighting with each other, so we should just divorce. You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, I wanted to speak about it because I believe, like, okay, astrology. Astrology.
Forgot I had a job.
All good, bro. All good.
Is not. let me say this. Astrology is not bad.
Right.
Or maybe astronomy.
Understanding
what's going on in the
bodies
stars
is not.
It's when
it's
you-
not inherently evil.
No, but it's when you look to the stars for your answers is when it's a problem.
Real quick, I just want to say thanks to everybody who wished me happy birthday.
Oh.
Go ahead, Jake.
So when you look to the stars for your answers, now you got a problem.
Mhm.
That's what happens with the astrology
Right.
of this world. But no, the signs in the skies were for us.
Right.
Are for us, right?
Mhm.
So they speak to what God is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like this fear, just like anything, witchcraft, witchcraft is literally about it's a semblance of truth.
Right.
Like I said earlier, semblance of truth. There's truth in it, but it's really just the appearance. It's not really the meaning, right? So you have something that is acting. It looks like it, but it's not really the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what goes on with this. And that's what gets people scared in the church or in religion. But really, everything, if you discount what's going on in witchcraft and if you discount it like it's all a lie, which it is a lie, but it's lies mixed with truth, right? So
Manipulated.
you don't look at the witchcraft, you allow God to take out the mixture, right? Because then there's no power in it anymore. And so if you're afraid of something, power. Oh, somebody's doing witchcraft to me. See, that's superstition.
Mm-hmm.
That's tradition. That's like the number 13. It's Friday the 13th. That's tradition.
Fear.
That's superstition. That's where fear happens, and that's where the enemy gets a hold on us, right? So traditions cause us there. That's the religious aspect, and that's what Jesus spoke about. He said, your traditions, they make the word of God of no effect in our lives. So that's what happens. And so when we just discount something like, oh, that's witchcraft. Yes, but there's truth to it. And let God take away the spookiness of it so that it has no power over you anymore. The hoodoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we get scared of these things like, hold up, I don't want to go there.
Because there is there is something to the fact that they are used in evil ways as well.
Right.
Like there is, when you look at like just people that dabble in the occult and tarot readings and using like a lot of that, they use numbers. They use certain patterns and things to conjure up certain realities. You know what I mean?
We talked about this before. Like you could say meditation and you think meditation is a bad thing, but it's actually, God talks about meditate on the word, right? You're supposed to meditate, but you meditate on the right things. Numbers through God have the right meaning, right? Through the enemy. The enemy uses numbers. The devil will use numbers for his own desire, right? Because really what you're looking at when you look at witchcraft is you're looking at how creation is worked and how the devil knows how to manipulate creation for his own good, and he uses people to do that for their own good, for their own desire. You're like your father, the devil. So you use that for your own desire, and we can get caught up there. And I don't want to be.
Let me just read a couple comments before you continue. Paul said, "Yeah, that Pluto return stuff is no joke." There's also another total solar eclipse of the U.S. on April 8th, 2024. That's also a significant date, 4/8/224, 2024. This one will cross the U.S. from top to bottom vertical. The one in 2017 crossed the U.S. from west to east horizontal, forming a giant cross or X over the nation. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So with this one, there's some interesting things with even numerically. And again, numbers have value in the Bible. There's so much. Like I was saying earlier with you have transgression. These Hebrew words, transgression, sin, and iniquity, they all have the same number, the number 9.
Right.
Right. And number 9 is connected to realms.
Yeah.
That's why I was talking about that earlier. Right. And I can go deep into that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Because that's not what this is about. But I'm just kind of speaking about numbers. Things can only have a hold over you if you don't have understanding. And my people perish for lack of knowledge. So the ignorant are going to die, right? The ignorant die because they don't know. And God doesn't want you to die. God wants you to be raised up in his life, right? So the enemy will have power over you. If you get scared, it will rule over you. If you trust God through what's going on in your life, you're going to rule over it through the ruler, Jesus, right? So that's the point. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony, and we don't love our lives to the death. So that's how we overcome. We have to trust God. No matter if it feels like we're going to die, right? We trust him. And that's how we rule over these powers that want to control us, right? Through fear. Through fear. God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So the sound mind is literally even about self-control. If we're caught up in fear of what's going on, it's going to pull us to do certain things, right? If we're caught up in depression, we're going to try to get comfort in our desires, right? Or if we're scared, we're going to do things that we normally wouldn't do, or do things that make sense to us.
Right.
What's common to us, right?
Yeah.
Again, traditions, right? So it's interesting because 2 times 2 times 2 times 222 equals 1776, which is all the 2s in 2222, 222.
Stop.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Stop.
Now, here's something else that's interesting.
Hold up.
Wait. 2. So you're talking about 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So if you multiply
2 times
all
2
those together,
times 2 times 222 times 222 equals 1776.
Do it.
Do I got to fact check?
You don't got to fact check me, but you can go ahead. I fact checked myself. But anybody can go ahead and look this up. Now another thing is 1776 divided by 2 equals 888.
Okay.
888 divided by 2 equals 444.
Okay.
And you see the pattern. 444 divided by 2 is 222.
Right.
222 divided by 2 is 111. Right? And that's where it ends.
Right.
So you see how it breaks down to ones, right? 3. I just thought that was pretty interesting too. So again, 1 times 2, 2 2 2. Yeah, right. There's a 3 connection there, right? And then you have 1776. Well, I'm not going to go into that. So anyway,
this number stuff gets weird to people, but it's so interesting to me how like, all that stuff connects.
Man. And then you have
it goes over my head sometimes.
Wait, real quick. Paul said apparently these total solar eclipses relate to the sign of Jonah. Y'all LOL really does equal 1776. Lena did the math.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like coincidence.
Yeah.
But there's hidden stuff here, right?
Right.
So 1776. One, you can break down everything in numbers. So 1 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6. What's that equal? That's 3 sevens if you think about it, right?
21.
21. There you go. And 21, 2 plus 1 equals 3. So then it breaks down to 3 again, 1, 1, 1. And then you have 2 plus 2. So there's 6 2s in February 22nd, 2022. 6 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3.
Right.
So it breaks down to 3 again. 12 is an interesting number. 3 is an interesting number. 3 times 4, 12. So, and you look at threes. Threes are 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3, 9. There's a connection there.
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere with this. All right. So in the Bible, let me go back to Pluto.
I just want to point out that I always find this fascinating that 3 times any number is always 369.
Yeah.
Any number. It's always 369 as you go up.
Or it breaks down. It breaks down. Yeah.
Yeah.
To that.
3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3.
Yes.
3 times 5 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6.
Yep.
3 times 6 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. And it goes on for infinity. For infinity. It's always 369, 369. It's just things about numbers like that fascinate me, man.
And even in terms of like, which is not talked about a lot, but magnetic energy and the way they calculate it is connected to 369. So let's go to Pluto. Pluto is a Roman god that is from a Greek god. Okay, so Pluto is the agent of death. It's whether. So I'm just going to read something. I got all this from occultic or astrology websites. And there's a reason why, guys. So I'm not saying it's all true, but you got to see their perspective, right?
Right.
You got to see their perspective. So Pluto is the agent of death, whether this is the death of desire, the death of our attachment to form, or the total death or surrender to a lower self. It emerges and gives life to the soul. This is the death of liberation, the death of resurrection. 3 is the number of resurrection. 3 is the number of raising up, okay? Jesus rose on the 3rd day.
Right.
So they're saying it's the death of resurrection.
So Pluto?
Pluto. So Pluto is, when you think about it's the death of desire. So is it the death of the desire that God wants to have for him? See what I'm saying? Is it the death of the attachment to God's form? Because they're saying it's the death of our attachment to form. Is it the attachment to God's form? Right? What is Pluto? Pluto is Hades.
Right.
Pluto is Hades.
Hades, yeah.
Right? Hades is the ruler of the underworld, the ruler of death, the ruler of the dead. Plutos in the Greek means wealth, affluence, and richness.
Looks like Plautos.
Plautos.
Is it?
Oh, I see it. Ploutos.
Okay.
T-O-S.
Plautos.
Plautos.
So,
Plautos.
well, that's where it comes from, Pluto.
Yeah. I'm just looking
right?
on Wikipedia. I have it up on there.
Okay. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that the reason why it's connected to wealth, affluence, and richness is because what happens is that God wants us to be wealthy in him, right? Worth. He wants us to know our worth, right?
Yeah.
What's the enemy want to do? Bring it to death. Bring it to Hades.
Yeah.
God wants us to know our true image. which is in Christ. What's God want to do? I mean, what's Hades want to do, or the enemy? He wants to bring it to death.
Yeah.
Right? He wants us to take everything. He wants to take everything that we are in God and bring it to death. Right? And what's God do? He wants to bring it to life. Right? Jesus says, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Right. What? Everything that I am, but I'm coming that you can have more life, have it more abundantly. Right? So there's keys to this. Pluto, this is another thing about Pluto. Pluto is basically a force of separation. This is, again, it's their perspective, right? It's a force of separation. Every time a veil keeps us completely separated from what lies behind a Plutonian context, a Hades is created. Look at that. So what does that mean? There's a veil that comes up through your flesh. When a desire from God is killed, it's killed by a desire of the flesh. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every time we get pulled into what we think looks good and we go after it, we open a portal, we open ourselves up to a realm of death. And then we can't see life. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't see life. It might not be in everything, but we actually go asleep. We die in an area of our life. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we got to be awakened. That's why we say people got to wake up. People got to wake up because they've died. They've gone to sleep. If you are not of the spirit, then you're dead, right?
Right.
Because the wages of sin are death. God, if you have not been born again, you are dead, right? Once you come to life, you're living, right? You can see. You're awakened. So there's false awakenings, and you see it even here. Like the astrology and the occult speak about these awakenings.
Yeah.
They basically say Pluto is not bad or good. It's just how you see it. Right? So it's saying that you can think of it as a little underworld, since that separation determines a place which becomes inaccessible to most. Our world splits into two different realities. One is clear, visible, and cognitive. The other remains hidden and secret. So the enemy how does the enemy rule over you? He rules over you through you giving up what you had, which caused you to see life, right? And you gave it up for something that was false, that looked good, but it's not true goodness, right? Then you give it up, and now what true goodness is hidden from you because he's covered himself. Now he's like in between you and goodness, so you can't see it anymore, right? That's in the Bible it speaks about Satan or the cherub, right? This is Ezekiel 28 as the cherub that covers, right? He covers, and it's even connected to that word in Hebrew speaks about thorns. Right? It's a cherub that covers by thorns. God is a protector. I mean, God protects us, right? A hedge of thorns is a hedge of protection, right? But now he's turning that hedge of protection to keep things out, to keep you in.
Right.
To keep you in his realm, or his sphere of influence, right? To keep you in. You can't get out it but through Jesus. That's why Jesus wore a head of thorns, right? It was a mocking to him, right? I think we spoke about this. So the New Age, witchcraft, occult practices are a semblance of truth. It's the outward appearance of truth, like I said. It resembles the truth, but it is not, right? That's why in the Bible it speaks about these people who look like godliness, right? They look like the word. They read the Bible, but they read it to fulfill their own desires, right? They know the Bible, but they do it to fulfill their own desires. For what? To rule over you. These are the ones that creep into houses. How do you creep in? There's no guard.
Yeah.
You creep into houses, and what do? They're enticing silly women, right? Yeah. And what's happening? They're always learning, never coming into the truth. Because the truth sets you free. The truth sets you free. So you're always learning. You think you're being set free, but you're never free. You're never coming out of that realm. The truth is never really unveiled to you. The only way it's unveiled to you if you're set free into that realm of freedom,
Right.
which is in Christ, right? So this is the trick. These are the false practices. It all goes through our desires. In order for us to see God, we got to lay down our life, right? So this is the connection to all this. So what I'm saying is that 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6 twos. I don't know how many I said, but the point of it is that this is an opportunity. See, cycles they're cyclical for a reason, right? We have an opportunity now to take from the enemy. The enemy always has to come back around. Now he's either going to take from us or we're going to take from him.
Right.
We're going to be closed off to him, right? He's going to come at us. But if we not caught up in the technicalities, we're going to rule over him.
Right.
Right? And everything that we rule over, you bind the strong man, right? You can take his goods. So where he's trying to take from you, you can take from him if you trust in God. The enemy has nothing in Jesus. That's what he said. The ruler of this world has nothing in me.
Right.
That's from John 14. If you trust in him. When you trust in him, when you feel the attack, you feel these things, now you're able to deal with it if you trust in him. So this is an opportunity. Pluto's coming back around, right? Hades is coming back around. Hades is coming back around, but we have victory over death through Jesus, right? It says in the Bible that that the power of sin is in the law. So what do we got to do? Stop focusing on the law.
Right.
Stop. I said this, we talked about this earlier, right? We get caught up in the technicalities.
Yeah.
But if we trust God and we stop focusing on the law, which is like a mocker who, like, think about, we play soccer, right? Somebody's mocking you, and then you get drawn into an argument. That's what he wants. So all this stuff we see going on right here, we can't be caught up in everything that's going on. We see it for what it is, but we got to trust God for the answer and the solution, for the victory.
Right. It's all to get you off your game.
Right. So that, because if you're off your game, you're emotional.
You're in emotion, yeah.
And if you're emotional, you're ruled over.
Right.
Because your emotions can't rule over you. You have to rule over them.
Right.
So
Star Wars.
So this is a time where we got an opportunity, guys.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I'm saying it's like we have an opportunity. 12, the number 12 represents government. But when you break it down numerically, what'd you say?
Yeah, it's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just going to go into what that means. So the number 12, 10 means the work of God's hand. So the work of God's hand. 2 is a house. The work of God's hand in a house. He can't.
That's how you govern.
That's how you can't come. You got to let him into your house, right? In Revelations 3, he says, "I'm at your door. I'm knocking." Right? Will you let me in? If you let me in, I'm going to come and eat with you.
Yeah.
Why didn't they let them in? They were closed off because they thought they knew. See, when you think you know already, you're closed.
Right.
But God is always new. Right? What's the new? Every time you get confronted with something you don't know how to deal with, God's trying to teach you that the answer is in me.
Right.
And if you stop and you try to figure it out yourself and you make up something, you're going to stay there. See, that's where you start acting. Right? You become a hypocrite. You start acting because you really don't know, but you acting like you know. But God's like, no, this is an opportunity so you can come into my truth and you can receive from me. So 12 is government because it represents how God works in our house as we let him in to raise us up, to bring goods to people, right? Because number 3 means to raise up, but it also means to bring goods. It means to bring something, to bring God's goodness to people where they couldn't receive it, to bring the goods that they need, right? That's what 12 is about. So it's interesting because a priest had 12 stones, right? A cherub, the cherub talked about in Ezekiel 28, had 9 stones. They're all the same stones minus the 3. See? Minus 3. So you have, again, what you just said. You said 3, 3, 3, right? These 3s, they add up, right? So we're talking about 2s, but we're also talking about 3s. So I said earlier, 9 is connected to realms, but 12 is connected to, that's another 3. It's connected to governments. So governing over realms, right? You can't be. See, the enemy has realms, but God has the government over the realms, right? So you have to trust in him to receive that, or else you'll be governed by the enemy in those realms. So that's the priest. The priest is always connected to how he distributes the goodness of God to you. He's the joiner. He joins you together with God, right? That's what Levi means. It means to join. So there's a connection between, we were talking about this earlier, Issachar, right? The sons of Issachar. The sons of Issachar were 200, right? And the sons of Issachar know what to do in the times. They understood the times and the seasons, and they understood what Israel should do. So that's what God is raising up. We talked about Tomi Orion. It's Rig Nation restoring Issachar generation, which is speaking about restoring us as knowing what to do, right? Because we understand the times. Again, this is a time that's coming to us, right? This is a certain time we're in. And that's why I'm saying this, and I wanted to break this down, because people have an opportunity, but you choose.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, this is some BS.
Those that are willing. Those that are willing, yeah.
Like you can say, you can hear what I'm saying, and like, oh, that's some BS. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That don't make no
that's
sense.
Some nonsense.
It's nonsense, but then you miss your opportunity, right? If you really want it, you're going to go and you're going to seek it out, right? You're going to go read about it, seek it out. But there's another 200. There was a 200 that came down. This is in the book of Enoch, so a lot of people don't follow the book of Enoch, but
it's in the Bible.
But it was in the Bible.
No, I'm saying quoting the book of Enoch is in the Bible.
Yes. Peter quoted from the book of Enoch.
Luke.
Well, he said some stuff that was in the
Not Luke,
book of Enoch.
Jude
quoted from the book of Enoch.
Yeah.
And it used to be in the Bible in the
Ethiopian
16.
Bible.
Well, it's in the Ethiopian Bible. But it was in the 1611 King James Bible.
Right.
So the 200 watchers is connected to Genesis 6. If you read about these sons of God that came down and basically had sex with women, right? There were 200 of them. They were watchers.
They left their estate.
What were they meant to do? They were watchers or guardians. They were guarding the heavens to keep things out from the earth. They were supposed to watch over the earth, right? And they left their estate because they were looking at what was going on, right? And they started to desire women, and they had offspring that were not
Greek and Roman gods.
Right. That's where we kind of get these. That's where we get these Roman gods. It says
the heroes of old or whatever in the Bible.
Right. So that's interesting, Jamie, that you brought that up.
What?
So Genesis 6.
Yeah.
It says that in those days there were Nephilim. I'm speaking Genesis 6, 1-4. I'm not going to read it all, but this part, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also after, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men. So the sons of God, the Bene Elohim, these are technically, they're watchers, but they were I don't want to say angels. They were celestial beings. They were divine beings, right? You could say they were angels. So they came into the daughters of men, and they bore children, and these were the mighty men who were of old. So this is where you get all the what do you call it? The Greek gods.
The giants,
the stories.
Beowulf, what was the Grundle?
Yeah.
Gollum.
Paul,
no.
Paul said they were watching them booties.
That was the original Instagram, right? That was the original Instagram.
Yeah. So
he also said soccer mocker.
That was a Jordan joke. I saw that. I was like, Jordan would love that joke.
So this is where they were called the Men of Renown.
Yeah.
Right? And that name for renown is Hashem in the Hebrew. But it means the name, right? They were men of the name. It means to be famous, renowned.
To be known, yeah.
But there is a Hashem, which is the Lord. It's connected to character, true character. Right? So you have these false Hashem.
Right.
These false...
Well, what were they? People actually thought they were gods.
Right. So what is that? They're literally portals that are... They're portals to hell. Basically, they're places where people will look upon them. Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're huge. They have supernatural power.
Nimrod was considered.
Yeah, he was.
We don't know, but it's kind of like.
But even though you bring that up, like the Tower of Babel, where they said, "Let us make a name for ourselves." That's the same.
Right.
Let us make a Shem for ourselves, a name, a character, right?
Let us be worshipped.
Right. And what were they doing? They were trying to open up a portal, right? So they were trying to get the reverence and the honor of what God should be getting, right? And this is what you see throughout history, right? Getting what God should be getting.
And they did, because look at all of the ancient civilizations. They looked at these beings as gods,
right?
And they created these giant structures, and they did all these things to worship them. And they, the legend goes that they taught men all of these things to be worshipped,
right? And Hashem in the Hebrew, it breaks down to the number 12 too. So that's a governmental thing, right? When you have a character or a name, it's connected to governing,
leadership, right?
Leadership,
yeah.
And you'll know them by their fruit, right? This guy's scratching
his beard on the mic, like just doing all kind of crazy stuff.
So you'll know them by their fruit.
I didn't mean to do that.
Fruit is connected to character. How are you going to know them by their fruit if you don't know who Jesus is?
Right.
See, the image of Jesus reveals the fruit.
Right.
The name of God. That's why we say in Jesus' name. It's not about, let me say the name. See, that's superstition.
Yeah.
Jesus' name has power. Jesus, no, it's how you say it in the image of what you see in your mind when you say it. Right? The level of power it has is the level of the image that you can see who he really is.
Right.
That's the power of his name, the power of his character. Because when you say, that's why people get caught up in like, it's Yeshua or Yehoshua.
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, that's not where the power is. Like, you got to say his name. That's why people can say Jesus and demons can flee. Why? Because it's the character of knowing who he is.
Right.
That's where the power lies.
Right.
So that's what Hashem is all about. So when you're looking at these false Hashems, these false renowned looking gods, right? You're looking at power. They got power, right? So people are starting to desire them in their lives, to go after them or to honor them, to worship them, venerate them,
idolize them,
and you get now that's blasphemy.
That's what we do with celebrities, isn't it?
Right. So
that's the modern day version of it, or influencers, right?
You're looking at a false image, right? An idol, right? So
American Idol.
So Jesus, in Leviticus, it speaks about this. It says, "Whoever blasphemes the name Hashem shall surely be put to death." Why? Because if you blaspheme, that means you are becoming a portal of death. See, so now you got to be, what were they? They were stoned. So it says, all the congregation shall stone him. If you stone them, that's a heap of stones, right? There's a reason for that.
Portal.
You're closing that portal. The sojourner, as well as the native, when he blasphemes the name, shall be put to death. The name is Hashem, because that's the governmental character. If you can't see it, you defame it, right? So what you've been seeing, like I've been saying this a lot, Jesus is saying now, you better put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name.
Respect.
Right? Respect. He's bringing back respect to his name.
P-E-K. Respect. Yeah.
So
I shall not be mocked.
So Jesus came to put the burden of shouldering the government on his shoulders. That's why he came. So now we're not caught up in underlying issues,
Right.
we can govern because we govern with him, and everything we don't know how to do, he can bear for us and teach us, right? And that's the point. So it's open to us. We just gotta understand how to receive it. That's why we can't be complacent believers. If
Yeah.
we're a complacent believer, we don't really believe. If we're complacent, then we're looking at everything and like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. We're complaining, but he's like, yo, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm the one that can give you the solutions,
Right.
the tools, the weapons to overcome the stuff.
Yeah.
So he bears the burden. That's why his blood, what does it do? What does his blood do? It cleanses us of all sin, right?
Pushes away our sins.
And it becomes it's a seal. What does it seal? The gates that we opened in our lives, the portals that we there you go, the portals we open in our lives. So Jesus becomes that true governing force as we unleash him in our lives, as we plead the blood over our lives. What is the blood also? It's a Passover. It causes the enemy to not be able to enter into our lives. It's a deterrent, right? It keeps him from. So that's why, what do we got to do? Family is key. Right? The enemy's coming for all these different places, education, medicine, but what he really wants is family.
Right.
Because family is how we rule, right? And if we can learn how to have God govern our family through his blood, right, then nothing can get in our houses.
Right.
And the reason why things get in is because we're because we're loose, right? You can be strict as heck, but you're lack and you're loose because you don't know how to really govern. See, you're acting now.
Being strict doesn't mean you're governing properly.
Right. You can be strict because you're scared.
Yeah.
I don't want my children to go through this, so let me be strict on them. And then you miss the point. The point is that in order to govern, you got to let the one govern in your life. You got to submit yourself to him. And as you submit yourself to him in love, like, I don't know what to do, really, God. And all my fear I give to you now. He can cover us in love, right? He gives us love, he gives us power, and he gives us a sound mind. And Jesus said it, the ruler of this world has nothing in me. So he teaches us how to keep the enemy out, right? And until we can keep him out, he keeps, well, my blood's there for you.
Right.
So now you learn how to keep yourself clean by my blood, right? And then the word, you read the Bible, because there's so much in there that you'll learn more and more as you do it. So I don't want to keep this going too long.
No, that's good, man.
Isaiah 22:22.
Yeah.
Speaks about, he says, I place on his shoulders the keys. Again, shoulders. God can bear it, you can't, right? I place on his shoulders the key of the house of David. He shall open and no one shall shut. He shall shut and no one shall open. He's shutting the portals of hell, right? He's opening the windows of heaven, the portals of heaven, if we allow him to. If we want to keep it open, that's our prerogative. You choose, right? Also, Revelations 1, Jesus says, and listen to this connected to Hades. He says, I saw him. This is John is saying, I saw him, I fell at his feet, though I were dead, right? And then he says, but he laid his right hand on me, saying, fear not, I am the first and the last and the living one. I died, and behold, I am alive forevermore. I have the keys of death and Hades. So he went down into Hades, and he took the power of Hades away.
Pluto.
Right? Of Pluto, right. Yeah. Pluto, he took the power away. So now it's like, what are we afraid of?
Right.
We're only afraid if we don't understand. So again, witchcraft only has power over you because these witches and these occultists and these new agers, they're tapping into this stuff.
Right.
Because it's real.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but are we as Christians going to allow that power to just, we going to allow them to do that?
It's crazy
or are we
because
gonna...
Christians now don't even think it's real.
Exactly. Most Christians, yeah.
They don't believe in any power.
Exactly. So Hades has come back and it's cyclical again. So God has given us a chance to, everything we got stolen and taken from us, everything that died in our life, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's our dreams, whether whether it's who we saw that we were at one time, right? Prophecies over our lives, who Jesus is, all these things that had died in our lives, we have the ability to now take them from Hades. Take it all from Hades, because we go in with Jesus and we come out with the goods, right? The goods, the things that are actually the worth. It's not about money. Yeah. It's about true wealth, right? Because when you have true wealth, money comes. When you have true wealth, that's the power over all these rich people trying to make things happen in their life for power. That's not really the power. The power is in the love of God. So when you trust in him, he opens up Hades. This is an opportunity we're in right now to go into Hades and to steal what's been stolen from us.
Get our stuff back.
Get our stuff back, right. So in Matthew, it speaks about like Peter dealt with this, right? Jesus said, "Who do you say I am?" And Simon Peter said, "You're Christ, you're the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him and said, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock," right? And we just said earlier, when the name of God was defamed, they threw rocks. They stoned the portal.
Right.
So now what is he saying? On this rock, on this revelation, right? Every revelation you have is a stone, is a rock to build over the gates of hell. So it says, on this rock, I build my church, and the gates of hell. That word for hell is Hades. Yeah. The gates of Hades or Pluto will not prevail against it. I give you the keys of the kingdom, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. Meaning, what's in heaven, you can bring to earth, right? And what is not in heaven, you can dismiss from earth. Or the opposite. What's in hell, you can be loose, right? You can loose it on earth, right? What's in hell, you can bind on earth. So this is the whole point of the government of the church. And when we look at the church is a governmental system that we haven't been using in the right way, right? We are a church that when 2 or 3 are gathered, right? That's another scripture that it talks about the keys of the kingdom, right? 2 or 3 are gathered. So we haven't been doing this. And this is what I think God is teaching us to really tap into. This is what intercession is about, right? To pray. So I said this earlier, we're watching all these things. We're seeing all these things that are happening, right? We don't have to be complacent in it.
Right.
We can align with God, right? We can agree with God, knowing that our hope is in him, right? And that's what happens when you shine with the character of God. There's hope now for people, right? God wants you to walk in his image. He wants you to be a son, right? A son who walks in his image, or even the bride that shines, right? The bride doesn't shine because she becomes a false image. The bride shines because she submits to her husband. And that's literally like, if I don't know, let me not act like I know. Let me seek my husband. And then what does he do? He loves us. He cleanses us with the washing of the word. So now everything that kind of like kept us in that contentious place, right? Fighting against things in our life, they settle. There's no power there for it to have power over our life. We've been set free. You know what I mean? The reason why witchcraft wins in our life is because we're scared of it. Yeah. Or because we think we got to fight against it, when the fight is not that. It's the fight of faith. And we already won. The fight of faith, trusting in God. So that's it. But you see how much, in terms of government, what we're really meant to do, and why I wanted to say this, because this is an opportunity.
Right.
You know,
and the government that was established when Pluto came around last time, you know,
exactly.
There's
1776.
The whole point of all of this is the significance of what today is, how it lines up with Pluto, and the last time Pluto came around 225 years ago, 1776.
for America 248 years ago.
248 years.
Yeah.
It said 225 in the thing.
No, it should be
200.
It should have been 248.
If it's 225,
right?
that's 9.
Huh?
Isn't 248? Because that's what I read. 248. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't know.
Do the
but
math.
All I know is 5 plus 6 is 11. So there's no way we'd be.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. All right, maybe I didn't do the math. I don't know. So,
but the point being that however many years ago that was when Pluto was in alignment, was when this government that we're in now was established.
and it was exactly on not just 1776, but
July
July
4th,
1776.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
How is that even possible?
You know?
How is that possible?
And then it lines up now with 22222. You know what I mean?
Right. And so what is it? If you look at slavery, if you look at all the corruption in the government, if you look at all these things, we've been getting stolen from. Don't look at the people in power, more so than what's behind them.
Right.
Right. What has caused them to desire these things to be corrupted.
Right.
Right. That's what we're really fighting against. We don't war against flesh and blood.
Fighting
Right.
the powers that are putting that desire in them. And I just want to read the last paragraph of this thing that you sent before we wrap it up, because it kind of brings it all together. I don't know where they're getting this from, but just read it out. It says Pluto is a planet of contradiction. It represents creation and destruction. It tears down things that are no longer working and replaces the outdated ways of thinking with evolutionary views. It also represents renewal and rebirth, changing ideology to align with current times. The dwarf planet acts to help the world grow, and when people don't want to evolve along with it, we may see societal upheavals. So I just thought that was interesting that, they're talking about that and talking about how that aligns with what's going on now. It sounds kind of significant.
246.
246?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
246, which breaks down to 12. Again.
Wow.
That's what Lena said.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, either way, it's very significant. I think we need to really understand what the opportunity is that we have before us to change things, to really seek God and really, establish that in our homes so that we can create a new government, a new form of society, of community, of culture. You know what I mean?
It starts with us personally.
Right. Which is something that we talk about all the time on this channel.
Right. And prayer is key.
Yeah.
Seeking God is key.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to wrap it up there. We definitely love and appreciate each and every one of you. And we thank you for sticking with us this whole time. That was a great episode once again. Listen, if you want to support this, if you want to support what we're doing, we definitely could use it just to continue to grow. And we want to get this message out to more people. So we're trying to grow the channel, grow all the channels. And, it only can happen with your help. So if you want to support, we have our Patreon that you can go to. You can become a member, become a young lion, and join the pride. We have different tiers here, that you can sign up for depending on what you're feeling like. That Lion King, that King Lion level is the most the biggest one. But we have a bunch of other tiers on there as well. And there's a couple exclusive clips on there now, but we're going to be putting way more stuff on there where we can talk about other topics that we can't really touch on YouTube and go in depth on things. And Jake can go real deep on stuff on Patreon for those that really want to.
It's so funny because this is like surface.
Oh yeah,
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like it goes so deep, man.
Right. I mean, to the average person, you just went way deeper than anybody ever could ever imagine. But I know where you could go with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so if you want to support and you want to become a member, go to our Patreon, sign up on there. Also, our website, Jatan.com. We have all of our music where you can stream stuff and our videos and all that good stuff. And then we have our merch on there if you want to support and get some of the merch. We definitely could use your support. Cash App if you want to just donate and throw a couple dollars and donate to what we're doing, donate to the cause. It's just $ Young Lion TV on Cash App. And, we've been using that stuff to get equipment.
I want to say something about that too.
What?
Because that's another place where, like, again, the enemy has tainted the image of what even giving is about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's about honor.
Yeah.
And, like, again, opening up blessings or portals where you don't have it.
Yeah.
So sometimes people have access to things that you want to receive. Like, even what we're doing, like, everything we got, the knowledge, the understanding, a lot of it comes from God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're doing and what we believe in, we believe this is what God has. This is even a ministry, for us. And when you guys
but
give,
it's weird saying that because even that, like you said, even that's been
tainted. Yeah. But that's why you can't let the enemy win and not say it. You know what I mean? Because that's the problem. Like, it gets tainted and it's like becomes some BS, and you don't even want to say these things.
That's my ministry. Yeah.
Right. But ministry in terms of we're giving ourselves over to this because we know that this is something that God is passionate about, and He makes us passionate about. And you can, when you tap into that, especially with giving, you now open it up for yourself. So if you're passionate about it, I would say, give into that. But that's what it's all about. Like, people don't understand, like, giving causes you to be blessed because you honor what God is doing.
Yeah.
If you believe that this is what God is doing.
It's funny because that's what we used to tell people when they would buy our CDs. Remember?
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of truth to it. What we were trying to explain to people. Like, you gotta be willing to give and support something. You know what I mean?
Right. Because that's where your heart is. Like, what is your heart towards? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're not giving, then.
And the thing is, like, I know people have it in them. I see, like, I watch all these other podcasts. Like, I watch people that, dude, I see the super chats they get. I see the Patreon membership that they have. And I'm talking about, like, people that are just doing, like, a fitness channel, or people that are just doing, like, a men's wellness, or just like Tim Pool, just doing news. You know what I mean? Just talking about the news, and the amount of people that just support that. Like, he funds his whole operation through his website. You know what I mean? From people just donating and becoming members. So, I mean, I know people have it in them to want to support something that they like. John talks about the guy that he moderates for on Twitch. Like, the amount of, people that just send him money to watch him play video games. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's funny that people give to stuff like that, but when you say anything about, like, anything that's connected to God, people are like, hold up.
Yeah.
He's trying to swindle me.
Grifting me.
Yeah. And it's like, no. I was watching a woman who's, like, in deliverance, and people were, like, coming at her because she was saying that sometimes you have to give to be set free from things. Yeah. She wasn't saying, like, you have to give to me and then you'll be set free. She's saying sometimes you're so connected to or attached to the things that you're attached to. Right. And
you're holding on to them. That
is the point.
That's isn't that what a hoarder is? Like, so connected to the things that they have that they can't even, they fill up their house with it. Like,
right. But they can't let go of it.
Right.
And sometimes you got to let go. And giving is that process of when you give even to a minister, you're not giving to that minister so much as you're giving to God. When people gave to the priest, they weren't giving to the priest so much. They were giving to God, but the priests were to receive that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
it was an honor thing.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, people have it in them. I see them do it all the time. So, that's why I'm always talking about it on here, is because, like, I believe that people see the value in what we're doing. And I believe that we already have people that, donate to us, and people that are Patreon members that every month they pay, you know what I mean, to the Patreon. So, and I totally appreciate that. Paul is definitely one of them. Emma, you know, we love you guys and we appreciate you. But like I said, all of that is only to expand what we're trying to do and get this message out there more. So, and I know people are willing to do that. So we appreciate you guys. And listen, let's just keep doing this. We show up every week. Y'all show up every week. And, you know, if we do get the support that we know we can get, it would be more often. We could do this more often. It don't have to be just once a week. It could be more content, more stuff, you know, which we're working on. So we appreciate you guys. We're going to get out of here. It's approaching 11 o'clock. So
yeah. Mom said it. We just reached 222.
Oh, dude, that happened last week too. Remember, right when Wilmer said it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but hey, man, we love you guys. We appreciate you, and we gonna be out of here.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people now. Ooh. Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people now. Ooh. Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom. Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people now. Ooh. Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people now. Ooh. Young lion, go live, yeah.